Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. In just 48 hours time, the CDL will be on the brink of beginning again for 2022. But with the online league returning for these qualification matches, Shotzzy is concerned that the attachments that are right now banned by the pro players and GAs, but also in the official rule sets, could get abused by pro players because nobody actually checks on them. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button, it's the best thing you can do. Tell the channel reach new people, please do subscribe as well if you haven't yet already. So 2 days time, everything kicks off yet again. Wanted to talk about this as well because Drazah's no longer doing fantasy. I've let you guys know about this a couple of times, but Breaking Point, we managed to spin something up. It's honestly really cool. This much better than it was before for at least the kickoff classic ride that we did a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, this is how it goes. There's some prizes on offer as well, and it's such a great time that it's certainly worth getting involved. So we did this last year. The link will be down, I guess, in the pinned comment or something. You guys can go make your own team. So effectively just go and choose 4 players. You can't choose more than one from the same team. So yeah, only pick 1 player per team. $25 budget for the 4 players. And I'm pretty sure this is for the entire Major 1 qualifying period. So not just this 1 weekend of action to come, but also for the next 3 weekends of action as well. But I'm pretty sure the Stage 1 Major will be a different, you'll be able to effectively go again for the Major. So right now, there's a fantasy team you pick for the entire qualifiers, the next 3 weeks of action, and then after that for the Major, there'll be another team picking session going along. This is the team I went for. I kind of went for this with the mindset of just looking at this coming weekend's matches, but I don't think it's too bad. It's probably not going to be anywhere near as good as some of you guys have picked. But anyway, you can actually see it now on the websites, show it on social media, all that type of good stuff. And there's also some bonuses that Mack has decided to introduce as well. So this is how the scoring works here on the left-hand side. But some bonuses happen as well. So if one of your players gets 3 kills in a sniper map or with a sniper in a single map, they get +2 points. If they get a clutch, a 1v2 or better, that's another +1 point. Slayer bonus, if they drop 40 kills on a barrage or something, that's +2 points. And then if they get 100+ seconds in a single map, they get 1 point as well. So interesting stuff, I thought. Like, you don't have to worry about activating these bonuses yourself. It'll just happen automatically. But yeah, maybe pick players with this type of stuff in mind. I didn't really, frankly, but I did it, to be honest. I'm sure you guys will do a better job than me. This also I thought was kind of funny from Methods, right? Because it was only $4, I'm pretty sure. Just the valuations were determined on somewhat to do with last year, but also the kickoff classic, of course, had some impact here. Explain the disrespectful price immediately, says Zin. So I mean, maybe $4, pretty good value for money for putting Methods on your team. I guess you guys can figure that one out. This also, as Method says, though, the Accord is en route to Boston, right? I guess he's moving out there to Boston officially for the start of the year, because we looked yesterday about which rosters are playing in which regions, which who might potentially be disadvantaged by the online side of things, where they're playing on these servers that might not be best suited for a team in Los Angeles, for example, like the Thieves are right now. The Guerrillas now are playing in Texas, so it's an interesting development really that's going to happen here, just to see how this goes right online, because there was definitely a fair bit of complaints last year to some degree, certainly the year before that as well though. But of course this time the teams have certainly had their time to decide. They knew that these online qualifiers were going to be played online, and of course the majors we imagine are still going to be on LAN unless anything changes on that front relatively soon. Let's dive into this then, because a lot of talk lately about the sniper attachments and really the smoke grenades we discussed yesterday, and therefore with smokes gone, what does that mean for snipers, right? Are snipers going to stay being used? Because we really did not see any particular evidence, in my opinion, at the kickoff classic. The snipers are way too overpowered and they've got to go. But what I actually mentioned in yesterday's video, that what if the pros start to GA some attachments, because we saw this, I'm pretty sure the first time we saw an attachment was BGA'd was back in World War II. The bar, if you guys remember, was really good if you had long barrel on it, and the pros decided, okay, long barrel's got to go on the bar, because I think it extended the range by like 25% or something, and it made the 3-shot kill range like really impressive, and the STG and the PPSH just couldn't really compete at that kind of close to mid-range, especially on a map like Samurai Dumont. It was just so difficult to compete with the bar and all the engagements that they had. So the pros decided, let's get rid of long barrel, and that might make the weapons actually more balanced, and therefore the bar was still used, and the STG and the PPSH with a 3-weapon meta. It was very nice, and we saw it again, I'm pretty sure, in Modern Warfare. Took some time to get this to go through, but the 10mm attachment on the MP5 was that made the gun very strong indeed. Towards the end of the year, the pros decided, okay, let's get rid of 10mm and use without it. So the pros seem to be wanting to do something again here on the sniper rifles, and honestly, I'm kind of all for this if it makes them, stay in the game, right? Of course, you could argue it's a slippery slope, right? If we start saying, okay, yeah, you can GA some attachments on the snipers, then, what happens when they decide to get rid of the snipers entirely? But frankly, I think some of the concerns right now are the fact that the snipers can quick scope relatively easily, and I think they'd prefer it to be more like, okay, you hold down a lane, but if you find yourself in a 1v2, you're going to have a really hard time. Of course, Clayster made it work, and other players can potentially make it work as well, but I'm pretty sure that weekend of the kickoff, all the sniper attachments were being used, and now some of them are saying, okay, let's get rid of some of them on these weapons. So Crone, poor man, really, he tries to put together like a list, right, of the attachments that people are using right now on some of the weapons, weapons, and Standy said in reply, what even is that sniper class, right? Because it looks nothing like the one I have on right now. So this, I believe, may have been what Skyz was using right here. So, okay, you guys can check out the attachments of what the pros seem to be kind of currently using. This may have been slightly before some of these GAs seem to come into play in terms of the attachments that are now getting out of there. So I think generally maybe some of the grip stuff and some of the stock stuff, or like, whatever attachments maybe make your gun aim down slightly a little bit quicker, I think those are the ones that we're getting rid of, or at least some of the pros are getting rid of right now. That's kind of what Standy explains right here. That, Skyz showed this one, but I swear I thought half of these attachments were GA or not being used. And as Standy says, makes sense. After all the GAs, most of those attachments you probably can't use, so you can't quickscope. So this seems to be what the pros are doing right now. Smokes are gone, therefore you can't use a smoke to counter a sniper rifle, therefore the snipers have to get worse, therefore we get rid of some attachments on some sniper rifles. Is this a good idea? I don't know, but if it keeps snipers being used in competitive play, then I don't really have too much of a problem with it. Definitely intrigued to your perspective in the comment section below. Of course, it was kind of, Drazah really who used the smoke grenade initially in that way at the kickoff classic. They kind of got the smoke spanned, you could argue, and therefore the snipers are now in question once again. But I don't really think they can get away with G'ing them once again. But yeah, the sniper, maybe get rid of some attachments on it, might make sense to be honest in certain situations. But still, the pros just do what they want once again, right? Without really, we don't really hear too much about it until it happens, right? So maybe Crone will have some update on that one in the coming days. But still, Shotzzy had some thoughts on this. This, first of all, I thought was ridiculous here from Rambo. Since I never really did, I'd like to formally announce my retirement as a player. I cannot compete at this level, nor can my brain comprehend what I just watched. Now, you can see Shotzzy right here. Here he is on Tuscan. He gets a nice little two-piece. But this poor guy in the top of the church, or whatever this building is called, just gets completely obliterated with a hipfire. Now, apparently what Attach says here in the reply, it says when he chucks the stun grenade, it actually tightens up his hipfire spread. So, as Attach actually goes on to explain, when you have a stun in your hands, your hipfire is more accurate. Like, what is that? I'm not sure why that's a thing. I kind of doubt this was, maybe this was deliberate from Shotzzy, who knows? If this was deliberate to deliberately, like, tighten up his hipfire spread to get that kill when he was sliding, I don't even know what to think anymore. And, yeah, this guy's maybe just next level. Or he just touched the button by accident and it still worked out in his favor. But yeah, speaking of Shotzzy, he was asked in his chat a few days ago what he thinks about, the attachment bans that are currently in place. Because certain weapons right now, you're not allowed to use certain attachments. Pretty sure they're banned in the CDL rule set now officially. For a while, they were just, it was the kind of attachments that make the STG a 2-bullet kill that we talked about at the start of the game. Just crazy stuff like that. Now, a lot of those have now been banned, I believe, in the official CDL rule set. But still, I don't think they're banned in the actual game itself. If you go into the game and select CDL rules, I'm not sure it actually prevents you from using those attachments in game. So therefore, you kind of have to just trust the pros to actually not use any of these attachments on their own weapons. So of course, given this came up with the sniper rifle discussion, I thought it was certainly worth discussing about, because right now, if you die in the kill cam, you can't see, I'm pretty sure, the attachments that your opponent was using. Whereas in the last couple of games, you could. Therefore, like, you could see, okay, this guy's using this attachment, therefore, it's an incentive not to use it because you're going to get caught. But this time, no one even checks. There's no way to figure it out. And there's no, there's no CDL guys actually coming and check through your classes before the game. So technically, Shotzzy's saying, yes, people could basically just cheat right now. And still, no one's going to do anything about it. He reckons the regulations might need to change.
Who regulates or checks the attachments of pro players during matches? No one. No one does that. I feel like they should do that though. They used to do that in MW. MW, I forgot what we like. There was something that we couldn't use, and they would make sure, like, they'd be like, yo, I think it was like Point Man or some weird. I forgot what it was, but they would always make sure we had like the other one every single time we started the game. But
So I thought a very interesting point of discussion, right? There's some pros right now, if they wanted to, could probably get away with using attachments that they're not allowed to do. Maybe some questions would start to arise, but we saw Crimsix back in Modern Warfare, when advanced, auto tac sprint, right? When that was kind of always being talked about, that, okay, it's maybe overpowered. Crimsix used it, I think he said, in like 35, 40 odd maps of scrims before anyone said, okay, maybe Crimsix is moving a little bit diffy today compared to what he usually does. And I think he basically did it, and he said at the time it was an experiment to see if people could actually figure it out. Now, who knows, right? If someone uses an attachment in an official pro match that is effectively banned in the rule set or by gentlemen's agreements, but you can't tell it's banned because, or you can't tell they're using it, right? Because you can't see it in the kill cam, you can't necessarily tell from their weaponry, and no one at the CDL's front is checking their side, especially in online games. Technically, at LAN, you could do this, right? You can have a referee go through all their classes, make sure they're not using anything that's not allowed to be used. But online, you're not really going to be able to get away with that. So, maybe some discussions come out about this continued. Like, there's no real real way to police this. The way to police it, ideally, is to have an issue in the game itself where you can either see the attachments people are using, or just have them actually banned in the rule set themselves, so nobody can use them when the CDL rule set is enabled. But even if that was the case, the CDL rule set right now isn't perfect anyway, because there's some issues with it, like the glide bomb and stuff like this, which we believe they're fixing, but still, it might take a little bit of time. So of course, you would hope that the pros wouldn't abuse anything like this and actually try to get away with something, but especially with the sniper rifle conversation, especially with the GAs that come into play with the attachments, if they're not officially banned, and someone maybe leaves an attachment on that helps them quickscope a little bit better, maybe it's only a 5% difference, who's really going to notice, right? And therefore maybe some teams get a competitive advantage, which I'm sure some would certainly consider cheating. So maybe a topic of conversation that will continue to crop up throughout the rest of the season. Wanted to mention this as well as we close out the video, because of course, as Chrome points out, we looked at this clip yesterday, right? The fact that the plant now is silent for the guy planting and defusing, but not for the enemy. Now, this was an interesting discussion because as Attach says, I'm sure these issues are a lot easier said than done. I hope they'll find a fix. And actually, Sebtime might come back and say, yes, thanks Attach, we are currently testing fixes for this issue. So good to see they're on it and getting things dealt with. And also, I thought this was good from Attach as well. If you need any help or people to test up before the patches go live, most of the pros would be happy to help. Like, this is something that surely they should be doing anyway, frankly. Like, the pros would be more than happy to test this stuff out. And it seems like some of the other fixes that have come along and haven't really actually fixed the game might need some help like this from some of the pro players. Would be interesting to see. This also was worthy of mention, though, just from aBeZy as we close things out, because, planting and defusing, in a game like Counter-Strike or Valorant, you can hear it, right? If they plant, if they defuse, you can hear it happen. Now, who knows how different of the game that is to Call of Duty, because obviously in COD right now, kind of right now, you can hear them the entire time they're defusing, whereas ideally, you probably want just a sound when they pick up the bomb, or no sound at all. I don't know. COD maybe is slightly different to Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike works great with the fact that if you're trying to defend the bomb site, the guy can fake defuse, and then you have to peek out, or you can call his bluff, or whatever you decide to do. In COD, that's not really a thing. You kind of just have to check it anyway, and therefore, I don't know, should there be a plant defuse sounds? But, then again, there's sprinting in Call of Duty. You can very easily shoulder peek corners and stuff, so I don't really know if it works quite the same. I kind of prefer a silent plant and defuse, to be honest. It certainly helps the diffusers out, because it's so difficult to actually defuse a bomb site, I feel like, if, someone can just be running around the place super silent as well. You're not even making any noise when you run around, because dead silence is a thing, so that's the issue. I guess when you're planting, it makes it easier for the defenders if they can hear you plant, so there's all sorts of complications here, but I still think the direction they're trying to take is probably for the better. But very much intrigued to your thoughts down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button, tell us at YouTube God this is a good video, I just like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you as always, take care, and I will see you next time.